I'm Paul Zigo. This is Cinema for Cynics. For this episode of Shyamalan in Reverse, we take a look at After Earth, a sci-fi movie starring Will Smith and his son Jaden. Aren't you excited? How could you not be excited? Listen to this premise. After Earth takes place after the human race ruins Earth with an ecological disaster and decides to head to another planet to fuck that one up as well. 1,000 years after finding our new home planet and picking the most generic name for it ever, Nova Prime, we run into some aliens. Who cares what they're called? It doesn't matter. What does matter is that these aliens decide to fight us by sending creatures called Ursa to hunt and kill everyone on Nova Prime. The Ursa are blind and deaf. They hunt by sensing fear. Already, we have a problem. These Ursa look like they could be cleaned up by a couple of drunk rednecks with AR-15s. When we left Earth, did we forget to pack some fucking guns or something? I mean, we see laser rifles or some shit in the film's opening burst of exposition, but I guess they aren't good enough to deal with a handful of misshapen toilet goblins. No, the only man that can save us is Will Smith, because he figured out how to completely suppress his fear. The movie calls this ghosting. Ghosting makes him invisible to the Ursa. Will Smith, then, is the leader of the Rangers, an elite group who run around with futuristic Swiss Army knives called cutlasses, chopping up the Ursa. Why chop them up and not shoot them or blow them up? I don't know, because it looks cooler, I guess. Will Smith's name in this movie is, I shit you not, Cypher Rage. Fucking Cypher Rage. The name sounds like somebody's dark elf warlock in the world's lamest, most unoriginal game of D&D ever. I have no fucking clue how someone on this production didn't change this name or how Shyamalan himself wrote it in the first place. Cypher's son, Katai, wants to be a ranger just like his dad. He's got skill, but he's not quite ready to be a ranger at 15, much to the disappointment of his father, the famous hero with the dorkiest name in history. This is how the movie telegraphs that Katai is going to get thrown into action before he's ready, of course. As a bonding experience, Cypher, the level 4 wizard, decides to take his son with him on a routine mission, so they can spend a little quality time together. The mission is to transport a captive Ursa to a training facility for the Rangers on some other planet. Sounds safe to me. I mean, hell, why don't we get a couple kindergarten classes to ride along for a field trip? I mean, whatever. Predictably, shit goes awry on the ship, and before we know it, Cypher, Katai, and the Ursa are the only survivors of a crash on humanity's doomed mother planet Earth. Since we packed up and left 1,000 years ago, Earth's remaining creatures have all adapted to this harsh new environment. Cypher warns his son that everything alive on this planet has evolved to kill humans. In just 1,000 years, with absolutely no humans left on the planet because we all evacuated. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works, but hey, it explains why Katai spends the rest of the movie fighting giant fucking condors, oversized pigs, and mutant hyenas. The accent that Will and his son attempt to use in this film is fucking horrible. At times, they sound like Civil War generals. I'm a ranger, sir.
And I've got to be able to tell him that I'm a ranger, sir.
At other times, they sound vaguely South African or British. At still other times, they seem to just speak as they normally would. All of Will Smith's usual charm, if you want to call it that, is hidden behind Cypher Rage and the stick up his ass. His one-note performance is mirrored by his son Jaden's perpetually exasperated Katai. It's mind-numbingly hard to watch. In reading about the production, I learned that this movie started as an idea of Will Smith's. He was apparently watching reality TV show I Shouldn't Be Alive. In one episode that he watched, a father and his teenage son are stranded in the snow, and the son has to make a long, difficult trek to save the father. Thus, this movie was born from the bowels of what used to be the Discovery Channel. Of course, because he's Will Smith, he made a few phone calls and boom, green light. Hey, let us get M. Night Shyamalan to write and direct. You want to put your wooden, painfully untalented son in the main role? Sure thing, Mr. Smith. There were rumblings at release that this movie was packed to the gills with Scientology themes. Will is a former member of the church, and the central theme of rooting yourself in the present time to suppress and control emotion are right out of the Scientology playbook. I'd love to blame Scientology for this movie sucking, but it just isn't the case. The horrible writing, the stiff, soulless performances, and the bland, shitty, CGI-soaked action are all to blame here, not L. Ron Hubbard. If you're waiting for a Shyamalan twist, don't bother. There just isn't one. After Earth was lazy, and After Earth was terrible. Don't watch it. Trust me. And if you enjoyed this, suppress your fear and push that subscribe button. You must let your emotions flow through you like water and hit the like. Listen, Katai, you must tell your friends about this channel or we are all dead.